Welcome guys. So in this lecture, let us see how to run tests from the Maven commands. So until last lecture, we used to right click on our files and say run as testng suite or testng test, right? So we are relying on Eclipse editor where we are selecting the file and choosing the how to run from the UI. But later, if you integrate this project to Jenkins, that all the execution should be done based upon the commands, what you pass from your terminal, okay? So for that, Maven is something which will really help you to run your tests by simply passing the commands. And that's one of the greatest advantage of using Maven project to set up our Selenium framework. Now, I'll show you how to do that. But until now, Maven comes as a pre-installed for your Eclipse. So that's why we didn't face any issue in downloading the Maven because we never did that. That's because, Maven comes as an inbuilt plugin with Eclipse. Now, if you want to run tests from terminal, let's say, let me open the terminal. So if it is a Windows, it's a command prompt. In Mac, we call it as a terminal. But commands are same. No matter you work on Windows or Mac, commands will never change. So the same code applies here as well. So if I want to execute from here, if you want to support Maven commands, obviously then Maven needs to be installed in your system. In Eclipse, okay, we managed with the inbuilt plugin. But when you're doing from terminal, you need some Maven software, right? So firstly, I recommend you to just hit Maven download in your Google search. And there is one official website, mavenapache.org download. So when you go there, scroll down, and Windows users just download this zip file and extract it, unzip it basically. And Mac users download this file and unzip it, right? So after you unzip your Maven folder, you need to set this Maven path in your system variables, okay? So for that also, I found one blog online which clearly explained. So here you can download either bin or source, that doesn't matter. So after that, you see these guys have extracted that into one folder. And next step is you need to set Maven home in your system variables. You see, you can create a new system variable, write Maven home, and value right until Maven folder home path, program files Maven, and up to the home path where you extract it. So this is what you have to provide. Okay, so that's it. If you do that, and when you just type in your command prompt mvn space -version, you should see something like this with the Maven version number. If you see like this, that means the Maven is successfully installed in your system. Okay, so the only thing you need to set is the system variable path by giving the Maven home. And if possible, this one is required, but in this folder, there will be one bin folder also. If you want, this is an optional step. You need to go to the path variables and for your Maven home /bin. Okay, so you already set Maven home, right? One variable. So that you are dynamically calling here with percentile, Maven home percentile / give the path of the bin in the path variable. Okay, just follow this documentation from this URL. They have clearly given select the path variable, click on edit, then window will open and exactly give this. Just follow whatever they said and you can set Maven path. It's very easy, guys. 1 minute it will take hardly for you to unzip this file and simply copy the folder path and put it there. That's it. And then make sure you restart your terminal because whenever you touch system variable path, then make sure you restart your terminal, not the whole system, so that changes will take effect. Right? So once you do that, Maven is now installed. You can test with mvn space -version and you will get the which version of Maven you are using. Great. So now our next goal is to run the test cases, right? So in my case, I want to trigger this main testng.xml file using Maven command. So direct trigger is not possible. So there is one plugin again. So if you go to Google and say Maven testng integration, then again you will see their official website on how to integrate testng with Maven and run using terminal. So if you go to their website, if you scroll down, they have clearly given a syntax that you can use to run your testng XML files. And this is the syntax. And here where you have to give your XML file. Okay. So they already have inbuilt plugin, maven.plugin source file, in which you can send your testng XML file and it will run by looking at this plugin. So let's add this plugin into our pom.xml. Okay. So go to pom.xml, scroll down. You have a lot of plugins here, right? So in our case, it is saying plugins. So this plugins parent is already there in your pom.xml, right? So here we just need to focus only this piece, plugin piece. Okay. So these are the different plugins we have. Let's add one new plugin. That's it. Now suit XML file. So this will look from the project path. Okay, is testng.xml present in the project path directly here? No, it was inside test suites, right? In this folder it is there. So customize your path to identify that path exactly, test suites /testng.xml, right? But there is one problem here. So you are specifically hard coding in writing testng.xml here. But in our case, there are 3 testng suites, right? You might run purchase, error validation, because based upon grouping, we created multiple testng XML files. In real-time project, there could be 10 to 15 testng XMLs. So writing like this, hard coded, will really help us to, again come back and update the XML file whenever you want to run other XML file here from project, right? Instead, what you can do, so for all the XML files, you have to provide entry in this pom.xml and you have to give one name to each XML so that you will run the test based upon its name. Let me show you. It's very simple, guys. So in Maven terminologies, there is something called profile. Okay. So these are plural profiles. Inside that, you can create multiple profiles. Like how many you want, you can create those many profiles. Just like I said, name, right? Each testng XML, we will create one profile. Okay. And for that profile, we give one name like this, ID. We call that as ID. Now, testng.xml is running all the tests, right? Let's call it as a regression. So like this, create multiple profiles. This is one profile. And here, purchase tests. It's all taking care about purchase order. So let's call it as a purchase. This is one profile which focus on submit orders. And there is another profile also for this XML file, which is error validation. So let's write like this, error validation. Now, inside this first profile, you have to carefully copy all this code, build, plugin management, start from the build, this path, okay, until you reach plugin. But you also have to end up these 3 also, right? You have to give closing task of build, plugin management, plugins. So that means in first profile, copy all these 3 details. And again, in the order, end these details with closing tag, plugins, and similarly, plugin management. Just follow me, you will understand. See, instead of having one file, what I'm doing is I'm creating multiple profiles. So for that each profile, I will give one new XML. Now, for regression profile, it will run testng.xml file. Similarly, for purchase profile, you give another one called purchase.xml. So same code, you just copy everything here, whatever you see here for purchase also. Only difference is instead of testng.xml file, you will say purchase.xml file. That's it. And we will repeat also for error validation here. So now what happens is from your Maven, you can nicely tell which profile to run. Don't worry about all these technical things now. From terminal, it is very easy to conclude. Let's see. And also before running, make sure you set your compiler source target to 1.8. Okay, because we are using some stream functions here which only support from 1.8. So by default, sometimes when you create your Eclipse project, it will be on 1.7. So update it. If not, your test will report failure saying compiling issue. Okay, based upon the Java version you provide, your Maven uses that as a base to execute test. That's fine. Okay. Let's go back to terminal. So first make sure you go to the project path where this pom.xml is present. Okay, from that level only you can provide any Maven commands. So I came to the project path, right, where pom.xml is present. So here I would give this command mvn test. If you simply provide like this, it will run all the tests which have test keyword at the end in source test Java. But here we are not interested in that. So let's say I want to run all regression tests. That means every test. In that case, you know there is one profile called regression which can do that, because in that regression profile we configure to run this testng.xml. Okay, basically you want to trigger this testng.xml. For that we assign a name called regression. So simply hyphen write p. P stands for profile. So which profile you want to give? I want to give this profile. What is this name? Regression. Simply copy that and paste it here. That's it. So it will make sure that it runs only the XML file which is attached to this regression profile. In our case it's testng.xml, which means it will trigger everything. Let's see. So make sure you save the project, guys, because Eclipse and terminal are different, right? So it won't auto save. You see, two browsers are open at a time parallelly and things are started just like how it previously started when you trigger on your own by right clicking the testng XML from Eclipse. Same thing. Now it started from the terminal with the help of Maven command. So it's as simple as that. So when you give mvn test, what it does is first it compiles your code, make sure all compiled source files are ready, and then it will execute based upon the commands you pass. So this is very important to have profiles. Now hardly it might take 1 more minute because we are doing parallel execution, right? Let's hold on. All right, so execution is done. Again, same result, 5 ran, 1 failure. We are everything perfect. So refresh your project. You have a report here. Just make sure that report is also properly generated so that we are good to go. Okay, you see that login error validation. Obviously, initially, you know, there is an error here. That's why you can see that it exactly pointed it out, and all other tests are perfectly passed. Okay, so we are good here. So now you understood how to run in a profile. Now, similarly, if you want to run with any other profile like purchase or something, so what you do is simply change this parameter. That's it. So it will only trigger that particular test. So you can do that on your own and explore how things work. But overall, you understood the theme of running your entire framework from Maven commands, right? So in the next lecture, let's improvise this commands by passing, you know, some system variables, global variables at runtime. That's interesting. Okay, thank you.